Tampa was my first big city. And then 6 months later, he asked me to join him to start this new radio station called Z100 in New York, which at the time in 72 days became the most successful radio station in the world, in the planet. And today Z100 in New York, iHeartMedia, is the most powerful radio station on the planet. It still is after all these years. And Scott and I left Tampa and we opened up this brand new little radio station in New York, all odds against us. And in 72 days, we were #1 in New York City. And that's how was my ladder of success right there.
The celebrities, the musicians, can you talk about that time period? Some of the people that came around and
we discovered Madonna. We were the first to play Madonna, Prince, U2, just goes on and on. A lot of the superstars of today that are now on their way out were discovered by Z100 back in 1983, 84, 85. The three that come to mind, like Bruce Springsteen. Let me look at my wall here. Bruce Springsteen, Madonna, Prince. Prince was the first to be played on our show. Yeah.
Wow. And it's interesting because that's also around the time of like MTV, right? Becoming the thing in pop culture. So it's like you guys were like the yin and the yang there between the videos you saw and then hearing it on the radio on your way to work or
exactly.
Whatever.
I don't know. I threw out a few radio through artists in my day on interviews. I had this little scuffle with Madonna at one point, had a problem with Prince once, just the same people that we were just talking about. Eminem.
Oh,
real dick.
Wow.
Real dick,
Wow.
And I got in a fight with Eminem, and then 50 Cent ends up sticking up for him, and 50 Cent bans me from ever doing my show again, which is not the case today. This was years ago. But, you come in and I don't know, you guys, Jose and Kevin, you do interviews. You got a guy coming in, you're doing an interview, and he gives you one-word answers. Yeah, you're going to get thrown out. You're gonna be thrown out of the studio, and that's happened a lot. This is you get some of these guys and girls, women that have bad days, and they come in and they take it out on you, and there's a few of that. I'm not gonna. Well, I mentioned a couple names, but I mean, yeah. He learned a lot from his father on how to put together this illegal pirate radio station. I knew nothing about the interworkings and the electronics of putting together a pirate radio station, and he helped me with it. So we put this thing up, and it lasted for a few months, and then the local radio stations, called the FCC, and the Federal Communications Commission showed up at the doorstep and offered us a cease and desist, or under court rule that we'd had to cease, because on a clear day we were talking to a few people in Reno, and it was through that I got my first radio job, because I was heard on that pirate radio station, and I got 2 o'clock in the morning to 6 in the morning late night broadcast as a teenager on a radio station. That's how I got it. Christian Slater and I were friends back in the day. He actually was the one who inducted me into the Hall of Fame. And Christian came aboard because I was close with his mom, Mary Jo Slater, who was a casting director back in the day. And he came aboard, and it was cool. It was cool to be a part of that whole thing and teaching Christian the inner workings of how to talk and be a broadcaster, and the nuances and the inner workings of radio and stuff. He sat with me at Kiss FM in Los Angeles back in the day for a long time and studied how I worked, and worked together on that film.
Yeah, I mean, I love the movie Pump Up the Volume. Had no idea. That's funny. You see something, but you have no idea the nexus of it.
Yeah.
And so it's really great movie. And now that I really think about it, incredible depiction. So that's great on Christian Slater. So I recommend to our listeners, pull it out, pump up the volume. Like, you're in the you're in the Radio Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah.
And prestigious. So find it. Show us.
Hold on.
You got to see it.
Hold on.
You got the hardware?
The hardware, dude. It's heavy too.
Oh, nice. Congrats.
Oh, that's an award.
I don't think I've ever shown this either.
That's a beautiful award.
So it's made out of crystal. It's very heavy, and this is the Hall of Fame. Yeah, in 2019.
Wow.
I went up on stage. I go, well, I guess there was nobody left to give this to. Well, here I am. Here we go. I was the last guy.
Well,
We're experimenting and we're fleshing out an animated project, which is, I got to tell you, Kevin, working with you, man, has been a dream. We tried for years to get this thing animated with different people, and from Fox Network to Lionsgate. There was all different types of companies that wanted to do this and attempted to do the pilot, but they could not. They just they couldn't capture what I was looking for, my dream on these characters and how to make them look. I don't know. You brought it to the table. You and your team really did a phenomenal job. And we're experimenting now, so we're going to see where
yeah.
this thing goes.
Yeah, I remember the first time that I spoke with you and Samantha, I was getting off a plane in Chicago. And so I was 2 days away from flying in to go do this project with Wesley Snipes. And
Right.
so I was
That's
back
right.
and forth between what I needed to do in Chicago, and then I had to drive to Detroit, and then back and forth with the point person in Orlando that I was meeting in um in Orlando with Wesley
Right.
Snipes. And so right after I get off the plane, Jason's like, you got to jump on a call right now, right now. And so I jumped on the call, and it was an amazing call because you saw, I guess, part of my projects, the Beach
Yeah. Oh
Chronicles.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I
You
said,
and
"Whoa,
Samantha.
those are the images. That's the animation that I want for this thing."
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And you relate that, and that you wanted the drama. I think
yeah,
that was kind of the biggest thing that set the tone. And so from that conversation, I was like, it's on. Let's really make this thing happen. And it's been a ride. It's been a great journey.